Okay, so in the last class, we have seen different ways of traversing a binary tree. Uh, Particularly, we have discussed about in-order traversal, pre-order traversal, and post-order traversal. In in-order traversal, the left subtree is first traversed, then the data is processed, the data at the present root is processed, and then the right subtree is traversed. Similarly, in the pre-order traversal, the the present data node, the present information node or the data node is processed, then the left subtree is visited, that is traversed, and then the right subtree is traversed. For post order, it is first the left subtree traversal, then the right subtree traversal, then the processing of the present data part of the present node. So the basic algorithm for doing the in-order traversal was something like this. So given this tree, we need to traverse the left subtree first. So given this tree, basically by given the tree, I will be specifying that given the root of the tree. So given the root of a tree, in-order traversal, first the left subtree of the root is traversed, then the final root data is processed, then the right subtree of the root is traversed. So note my words, I am using traversed, processed, and visited. So by processing, I am meaning to say, I want to say that node, the data part of that node is just for this course, we have considered that I'll be considering printing the data part as the processing of the data. And by traversal, I'll be specifying visiting as well as processing. And by visiting, I'll be just representing the process of setting the pointer, setting the root pointer, or you can say any pointer of BT node type to that node. So for this tree, as you may recall, the in-order traversal was just a sorted order in this manner. So 3, 5, 6, 7, then 11, then 12, then 13, then 15. For pre-order traversal, it was a little bit different. First, we need to process the root data, then traverse the left subtree, then traverse the right subtree. For this tree, the pre-order traversal was 7, 3, 7 is the root, 7, 3, then 6, then 5, then 13, 11, 12, and 15. For the post-order traversal, we first will be traversing the left subtree, then the right subtree, then we'll be processing the root data. So for this tree, the post-order traversal was 5, 6, 3, 12. So basically 5, 6, 3, then 12, then 11, then 15, then 13, then 7. So we have discussed this. So the corresponding program codes or the C codes were like this. For pre-order traversal, it was, we'll be first checking whether the root is null or not. If it is null, I'll be, for the pre-order traversal, as it is process the root data, then traverse the left subtree, traverse the right subtree. We'll be doing that in this order, in this manner. For in-order traversal, it is first left subtree traversal, then printing the root data, then right subtree traversal. For post order, it is, oh, extremely sorry, I should have been written this as post. So it would be post order traversal, that is making the same function call once again. So for the post order traversal, it would be first traverse the left subtree, then traverse the right subtree, and then process the root data. So one shortcut of saying the pre-order traversal is basically root, left, and right. For the in-order traversal, it is left, then root, then right. And for the post-order traversal, it is, can someone say what will be the order in this kind of short form? Anyone? It will be left, right, root. So root, left, right means I'm processing the root first, that is the root data first, then I'm traversing the left child, and then I'm traversing the right child. For in order, it is left, then root. Root means I am processing the root data, and then right, I am traversing the right subtree. For post-order traversal, it is left, right, root. So I'm traversing the left subtree first, then I'm uh, traversing the right subtree, then I am processing the root data. All right. So to make a non-recursive function, non-recursive version of a function, what we need to do is we need to implement our own stack. So as you may recall that during the recursion call or recursive call of a function, a stack is maintained in the memory, which keep track of all the local variables and all the function calls that is happening during the recursive call of the same function. So basically, we need to make a non-recursive version of a recursive function, we need to write the stack on our own. Specifically, we need to write these three functions specifically. We need to write a push function, we need to write a pop function, and we need to write an empty stack checking function. So basically what we'll be doing is we'll be to write the non-recursive version of the function, we will be implementing this basically these functions, these operations to make the stack. Now, one thing is to note here. Here I am specifying the data that I am pushing in the stack as int data type. So it might not be the case always, as you might have seen in the earlier discussions. This data type, so a stack can contain any data, right? So here, for this example, I am saying that it is an integer data, but it can also contain one BT node type as well, basically a binary tree nodes as well. So in that case, the push function, the prototype declaration of the push function would have been void push, and then in bracket BT node, say n or some local variable name. All right. So any question up to this? All right. So I will start this discussion on writing a non-recursive version of the function considering the age-old factorial program. Considering the age-old factorial program. So for the factorial, as you may recall, the factorial function is the recursive version of the factorial function is, say, I need to write, say, I hope you can see my screen, int, say f is say fact, then I need to specify the corresponding parameter x for which I will be computing the factorial. Then I need to check whether x is equals to x is equals to 1 or not. I am considering only that the positive numbers. I am not checking all the non-positive or zero parameters. So if x equals to 1, return 1. Else, we need to return. Can someone say what I need to return from this function call for the factorial? Anyone? Please respond a little bit, otherwise. Yeah, please try.
F of x.
F of x? Only f of x? So I need to return f of x. Why? So this function will be called
x into f of x minus 1.
Oh, correct. It will be x into f of x minus 1. And this function I will be calling with, say, some parameters, say f3. So from the main function, I'll be calling this f3. So x will be passed as 3. Then finally, it should be returning the factorial of 3. Now let's discuss what exactly happened when I call this f3. So basically, I'll be drawing some photos. I'll be drawing some the exact situation of the stack at every point. All right. So first, let's consider. So first, this f3 gets called, right? That is from the main function. I'm calling this function with the parameter 3. So in the stack, what happens is in the stack, this f parameter is passed on. So this f function is passed on with the value x equals to 3. Okay, so this is basically the first call. First call from main. So this is note that this is not a this is not a recursive call. This is the first time it is getting called from the main function. Now, so from this f equals to f3 function call, so this function is called. So the first statement that it executes is x equals to 1, which is, so if I write that executed code here as well, so it will be the condition check will be if x equals to 1. So I am passing the value of x as 3. So this condition will not be satisfied. So the else part will be else part will be actually executed. So the else part is basically return x into f of x minus 1, right? So for that, the stack, what would be happening in the stack? So basically, the stack initially was containing the function call with x equals to 3. So it will be remaining there. So basically, so you can say if x equals to 3, it will be remaining there. And over that, on top of it, this f x minus 1 will be pushed. Which is basically x equals to 2, right? This will be pushed. Now this was the first function call to f, and this was the first recursive call. So this is the recursive call. So now we are in the second time this function is getting called. We are at that point. So now x, the value of x is, as you can see, it's 2. And the first statement that it is checking is whether x is 1 or not. So again, if x equals to 1, this portion will not be getting executed. So the else part will be getting executed. So again, else. So return x into f of x minus 1. This will be called. So for that, what will be happening? There will be another push inside the stack. First, it was containing f of x equals to 3 function call. Then it was containing the x equals to 2 function call. Then over that, this function call, which is x equals to 1, will be pushed on top. Right. So at every point, the topmost function call is the call we are currently in. You may consider that. So another thing I would like to highlight here is that for each of the function call, you can see we are using the same x equals, but the point is in every function call, the value of x are different. So so the first function call that had happened, in that case, the value of x was set to 3. Then over that, another function call was done with the x value equals to 2, then x value equals to 1. So this is the beauty of recursion, or the way recursions are handled using stack. So although the value, the variable names are same, they are containing different values. So they are basically containing the local scope of the variable. So every time I'm calling the function with a different parameter, so that value is set for that scope. And the previous scope or previous value is also getting stored. As you can see, first it was x equals to 3. Note that when we call this function f of x equals to 3, this 3 should also be considered later on. This will be considered, but first we need to compute the f of 2, and from f of 2 we need to call the f of 1, where the x equals to 2 will also be getting considered at some point of time, right, to do this multiplication. All right, so on this function call, this if x equals to 1 will be actually be true. So for that, what will be happening? So return 1. So now look at the stack once again. So the stack was containing, so at the bottom it was containing fx equals to 3. Then it was containing fx equals to 2. And at the top it was containing fx equals to 1. And this satisfied. So as we can see from the code, we should be returning 1. So basically, so this function call, so this will be replaced with the value 1. So this will be popped, the topmost value, and return 1 will be returned to the calling place. And what was the calling place? What it was the calling place when we call this function with f of 2, right? So if I draw this calling tree here, so f of 3 was 3 into f of 2, and this f of 2 was 2 into f of 1. Now this f of 1, as we can see, is returning 1. So this will be returning 1, and so basically this return 1 will be placed on top. So basically it will be, I mean, the whole function call. So every time we are returning, so this statement was placed as a return call, return x into x minus 1, and then again this was also a return call. So return x into x minus 1 when x is 2. So return 1 will be placed here, and this operation will be happening then. So return 1, this portion will be 1, and the existing value of x will be the next one, which is 2. So basically, what will be happening is, so after this return 1, so the topmost value will be this, along with, so it will be, I misplaced mine. yeah, so basically it will be returning as return 2. Right? And then another pop will be happening, and it will be popping the value of so basically, sorry, so this 2 will also be returned. So after this popping, this return 2 will be happening. You can see after popping of this, if x equals to 1, we are returning 1, right? So now after this pop of x equals to 2, return 2 will be happening. So again, oops. So after this, another pop will be happening. So another pop will be happening, and we can note that already we have returned 2 from the last call, right? So from the last, so for the last pop operation, 3 will be returned back along with the last returned value, which is 2. And as there is a multiplication operation here, it will be altogether, it will be 6. So 6 will be finally returned to the called function. Sorry, the calling function. I mean, inside the calling function, basically, inside your main function, this will be returned back. So this is exactly what happens when we write one recursive version of some function. So here I have discussed the thing considering this factorial. Do you have any question? As you can understand that it is not trivial. You need to understand the whole part, then only you will be able to understand the concept. Any question? Do you have any question? Please feel free to ask. All right, then let's move ahead with the writing the non-recursive version for the different traversal modes. Okay. So, okay. So as I have discussed, or as I have said, to implement our one stack on our own, we need to implement mainly these 3 functions, right? So let's write some codes regarding that as well. So here I have written one stack using a pointer, which is the data part of which is an integer. I'm sure that you have also written the same. So here, as you can see, this, let's consider the pop function or the push function, say. So in the push function, I'm pushing one integer value, and for that value, one node is getting created, and that node, the NO part or the number part in that node is initialized with the passed on parameter n, and the next pointer is setting as null, and then the top is set to the present node if it is for the first time. So how are we understanding that whether it is the first node that is getting pushed into the stack? By this condition. So initially top is set to null. As you can see, the top, the variable top, which will be pointing to the topmost element pushed inside a stack, it is initialized with the value null because initially the stack is empty. So when we are pushing, so we are checking whether it is the first element to be pushed inside the stack. Then we are just pointing the top to the present node that is containing the value n. And else we are just doing this simple operation. We are setting the present node, the newly created nodes next with the top, because as you may recall, so if I push, say, A first, so it will be making the stack look like this, A, and the next pointer is null, and the top is pointing to here. And then if I push, say, B over it, so if I push B over it, so what we need to do is, first we need to, so A, this thing is already there, right? So what we need to do is, we need to push this B over A. And how are we going to do that? And we need to point this the top. And to do that, so basically while creating the node, this will be created. B, the data part will be containing B, and the next part will be containing null. So we need to basically change this to the earlier top, and we need to make this top as the value of the present node as a new top. So basically, after creating B, as you can see from here in this code, SP is the newly created node, which is in this case the B. So what I'm doing is I'm setting SP next equals to top. So earlier top was this, and this was the next of SP. So SP, the next part of SP, I'm setting with the value of top, as you can see with this line, and then I'm setting the top as the to point to the newly created node. So basically, it will look like this. So A will be at the bottom. The next pointer of the A is containing null, and B on top of it, and this is pointing to here, and top is pointing to this node. And if I draw this in a linear way, in a linear fashion here, so first A will be created, the next pointer null, top was set to here. Then after another node is created, say B, first of all, this node is set to as null. So while creating the node, it is the manner or it is the way it should be done is we should be setting the pointers to null initially. Then what we will be doing is we will be unsetting. So basically, I need to set this to this, pointing to this, and then I need to I need to set the top to point to the newly inserted node. So this will what happening inside the stack. So this is basically a stack. So every time a new node will be created, say C, so top will be just getting changed, and so on. All right, now coming back to the code again. So here, push and pop, similarly, what I'm doing is I'm just returning the present element in the top. So if I consider another element, so if I consider this node once again, this three nodes again. So at top it is C, then B, then A. So top is pointing to here. So after applying one pop operation, this topmost element will be returned, and the new top, so this will be returned, and the new top will be set to here, and this earlier top will be just deleted or changed. You can say changed. Okay, do you have any question? So this was the push and pop operation regarding doing this, while implementing this stack using pointers. Anyone having any question? Anyone? Okay. Okay, then let's move ahead. So basically, here in this code, note that I have considered this int now as the data part that would be stored here, right? So the data part is basically considered as int. But as I have said earlier, that to implement the binary tree traversals in terms of non-recursive in a non-recursive way, can you say what will be the data type of the individual items that will be stored in the stack? Anyone? Someone please try at least. So again, my question is, so I will be implementing this non-recursive version of the traversal in order, pre-order, and post-order. Then, so, and also I have said that to implement one non-recursive version, I need to implement these stacks on our own. Then what will be the data that will be stored in the stack?
We can do with this linked list, single linked list.
No, so yeah, of course it will be singly linked list. The stack, the way stack will be implemented, the stack will be handled is like that. It will be singly linked list, of course. There is no doubt about that. But my question is, what will be the data part? So earlier, as you may have written, so the data part was an integer. But for this thing, for this scenario, what will be the data part?
Address of the
It will be basically the BT node.
BT node, yeah.
So the BT node that we have discussed earlier or defined earlier, which is containing again one int data, one left pointer, and one right pointer. Right. So these are BT node type. So these are again BT node type pointers to point to the left and right subtree. All right. So we need to implement the stack in that manner. So can you do that? Can you change this int number to have, say, BT node and say it will be, say, node? So can we do that? Will you be able to do that? Anyone?
Yes, sir. It will be a BT node star node.
Correct. And while checking the emptiness, it will be same. So if node top is null, it will be just returning true. That is, it will be empty. Consider the stack as empty. And for the push, we need to change this to BT node. And we need to change this to, say, star node. And while making this, what we'll be doing is for the SP number part, I was earlier I was, so it needs to be changed to node. So let's, for the less confusion, let's make it, say, info. So the stack containing info and next, and the info is of type BT node. So while pushing, the info part will be containing this new node, and the next part will be again null. Rest will be similar. And while popping, so what we need to do is we need to get the top, then info, then the data part. Because as we have seen, so this was the BT node type, isn't it? So in the BT node type, the actual data was stored in this int data. So to print that, we need to go use this top, then info, top point to info, point to data. And we need to change top to top equals to next. Top equals to top next. Everyone with me? So in this manner, I will be changing this this function, this stack, to contain one BT node type information. Earlier, we have considered this info as an integer, but now in this code, to implement this in a recursive way, non-recursive way, we need to change the info part to a BT node star, basically BT node pointer type. And to print the stack from top to bottom, we need to change that as well. So what we need to do is we need to basically, can you say what will be changed here? So in the stack, what will be getting changed? So basically the change will be coming here. So it will be info, and then data, and it will be temp equals to temp next as earlier. So this should be changed. So this change should be there in the to make this stack. So the stack that will be used for making the non-recursive version, these three operations needs to be there. So this part is not actually needed. So the main part that are needed is this pop, this push, and this empty check, as mentioned earlier here. And also, as we have said, this int data type should be changed to BT node type. BT node, and we need to change it to a pointer, say no. So this should be changed as a parameter here. All right. So based on this, so what we have done so far is we have implemented the stack in that manner. So now the stack is ready. The stack that will be used for making the non-recursive version is ready. Now we need to form the algorithm to make this actually happening. So now can some of you please help me to do that? What needs to be done? So for the pre-order traversal, the non-recursive version of the pre-order traversal, as you may recall, the order in which the nodes will be traversed is, so basically root, then left, then right. So what needs to be done is, first we need to create one stack, which we have already done. Create a stack, say S. Then we need to check until and unless we are done with checking all the or visiting all the nodes in the binary search tree, we will be continuing. So basically it will be a condition. It will be an infinite condition basically. While true. So as you may recall, this is a recursive function. It is an infinite loop. So while true, by default, is an infinite loop. So basically what we need to do is, from this while loop, we need to break at some point of time. Now what we need to do is, we need to individually, so it is visit the root data, then we need to traverse or process the left subtree, then we need to traverse or process the right subtree. So first what we need to do is, we need to check while, so basically in this function the root will be passed. So we need to check whether root is null or not. So while the root is not null, we will be processing the root. Processing means we will be printing the value. So initially root is set to here. So for this, root is not null. So process the root means I'll be printing 7. And then what we need to do is, we need to push Help me out here. What we need to push? Please help me out to make you understand what we need to push. So basically from the left pointer, it is there. From the right pointer, it is there. So what we need to push? So R is, or the 7 is already processed. So then I need to go to here. Then note that I need to come back here as well. So what I should be pushing?
7. The
Correct. So I need to push the root node basically. So by pushing root node, I am specifying that I will not be pushing 7, but I will be pushing the whole node. And already, as I have told you, so we have made this stack to contain this. So we can actually push one whole node, which is containing one data part, one left pointer, one right pointer, all together in the stack. Okay, so this is pushed. Why it is pushed? Because after traversing the left subtree, I need to go back to traverse the right subtree. And to get the right subtree, I need to push, we need to keep this whole thing. And after pushing the root, what needs to be done? So basically what needs to be done is we need to set the root to root. Help me here. So this is done to make sure that we'll be able to process the right subtree. Then what we need to, needs to be done here?
root left.
Correct. Root equals to root left. So the new root will be coming here. Now this while loop ends here. Now we need to check outside this while loop if stack is empty or not. And if stack is empty, then it means that the traversal is completed. So it means the traversal complete. And else, that means when the S is not empty, that means, so when this loop will be terminated, this while loop, please help me. When this while loop will be terminated? So first R is set to here, then R came here, then
it will go down 6, then 5, then it will terminate for left subtree.
No, it will not be.
Yeah, it will be at 3.
Not going here. So first R is set to, as I said, a tree means the pointer pointing to the root node. So R will be passed, and R, that is root, is not null. So 7 will be processed, and I'll be pushing this whole node into the stack, and the new root will be, so this will be modified to point to this. Then 3 will be processed, right? For the first statement. Then 3 will be again pushed. So basically the stack will look like, first it is containing 7, and then it is containing 3, right? And then the root will be what? Root will be set to the left pointer, right? So root will be set to here, which is null. Isn't it? So every time I'm setting root to root equals to root left. So this while loop will be terminated when we came to the leftmost point. So then only this while will be terminated. Then I am checking whether stack is empty or not. If stack is empty, we have completed the traversal. But as you can see, stack is not actually complete. So 7 traversed, 7 processed, 3 processed. Now we need to go to the right subtree of this topmost element. So top is here, right? So what needs to be done is we need to set the new root to the popped element. So after applying one pop, what will be top for this tree? So top was this, top was pointing to 3. Then if I apply pop and if I assign top equals to pop, so what will be the root? Sorry, not top equals to pop, but root equals to pop. Then what will be the root? Stack is look like this, right? The topmost is 7. And if I apply one pop operation, so it will be returning this node. Isn't it? Here it is empty, and here it is containing the left subtree, right subtree of this 6, 5. Then if I assign, and so basically this is the this is the outcome after applying one pop. And if I take the output or the return value of a pop inside root, then what will be the root? The root will be this. So basically root will be changed from here to here. Oh, sorry, extremely sorry. Root will be here. Come on. I mean, after applying this pop, we are returning this value. And if I say root equals to this is what I am writing. Root equals to pop. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So the new root will be again set to 3. And then what we need to do is we need to change the root to, help me
Root
with
right.
writing this, root right, absolutely correct. So now the new root will be this. Then as you can see, this while loop is still going. So it is while true. So basically completed means we need to break out of this infinite for while loop. So the new root is here. Now root is not null, correct? Because root is set to 6. So we need to process the root. So basically after 7.3 we need to process 6. And the new root will be set to here. Root is not null. We need to process the root. Basically after 6, 5 will be processed. Then the new root will be set to here, so which is null. So new root will be pointing to here, which is null. So this loop is terminated. Then it is checked that, oh, okay. So in between, after processing, I need to push the 6 as well. So the stack would look like, please help me. So the stack was earlier containing only 7. So after processing, because we have already popped 3. Now we have processed 6 by this statement. Then we need to push the root, isn't it? So what will be at the top?
6.
6. Very nice. After 6, so we set the root to here, and root is not null. So basically over that 5 will also be pushed, but the left pointer is null. So basically this while loop will be terminated. And we need to check that S is empty or not. S is not actually empty. Then this else operation will be processed or executed, which is basically we need to pop the topmost element. So 5 will be popped, and the right subtree of 5 will be considered as a root. Again, it is null. So again, this condition will not be satisfied. This condition will not be satisfied because the stack is containing 6 and 7. Now again, another pop operation needs to be done. So 6 will be popped, and the right of 6 will be set to the new root. Right of 6 is again null. So this is again root. Again, this condition not satisfied. S is not empty because S is containing what? 5 popped, 6 popped. S is containing what? S is containing
7.
only 7. Note that the whole left subtree is traversed. Now again, as you can see, S is not empty. S is containing 7. We need to apply another pop. So the another pop will be 7. Now the stack is empty. But after applying this pop, what I am doing is I am setting the root to root right. So basically the new root will be here. And root is not null. So 13 will be processed. And the new stack which was earlier has become empty after the last pop operation, I'll be pushing the root. The root is 13. So basically this 13 will be pushed and so on. The same operation will be continuing.